CrochetObjet Knitting. My name is Mo. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this beautiful starfish granny square. This square is part of a bedspread that I crocheted to our youngest when he moved to his toddler's bed. This blanket is the blue one that I shared at the beginning and at the end of this video. Since then, many of my local students and Etsy customers made this blanket in so many beautiful different colors. This is my version for a star square, and it was one of the first patterns I've ever written. I recently updated my original pattern. I will leave a link to the new one down below in the description box for you. In this video, I will be teaching how to make it start to end, including all the special stitches involved in this pattern. I used US crochet terms in my tutorial. We will start by making the star shape, and we will finish with 2 framing rounds as in my original blanket. At the end, I will show how to weave in the ends, so make sure you don't miss it. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm a left-handed crocheter and a right-handed knitter, and after years of teaching mostly right-handed people, I learned that our brilliant brain knows how to shift from left to right and vice versa. So bring your hook and yarns and join me in the making. For this demonstration, I will be using 4 different colors of my sport weight granny kit cotton yarn and a 3mm crochet hook, and I strongly recommend that you stop and play the video in parts that you feel you need. That's exactly what I did when I wanted to learn new stitches and new techniques. And let's get right into the work. We start to work this starfish square from the center outside, and we start by making this circle on the first round, and then on the second round these 5 triangles around it. And let me show you how I do this circle while these stitches are showing so nicely. For the first 2 rounds I use this Cooper yarn, and I like to start my work by using the magic loop. You can start with a chain 5 if you don't like the magic loop method. 3, 4, 5, close with a slip stitch into the first chain and work your first round into this center hole. I prefer to start with a magic loop, and I do it that way. I create a circle and I hold it with these 2 fingers while the short tail is underneath the working yarn. I insert my hook, grab the yarn, and start my work from here. Now the pattern tells me to chain 3, and this counts as my first DC. Now I want to make 14 more DCs, double crochet stitches, into the center of the ring. So 14 double crochet stitches into the center of the ring. And now I want to make sure I have 14 and a chain 3, and I want to count my stitches backwards from my hook. And I want to count each and every of these V stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and this is the chain 3 from my initial chain 3, which counts as the first double crochet. Take the short tail, pull it a little bit to form a nice aesthetic hole in the center of your work. To close this round, I want to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of my initial chain 3. So 1, 2, and I want to insert my hook under both loops of my chain 3. Make a slip stitch, and this is the first round. Now I want to create the triangles, 5 triangles around my first round, which will shape the star shape, and I want to start by chain 1. And now I will need to use these back stitches, which call the bar loops, these horizontal back stitches. So I want to slip stitch into the first bar loop next to me, which is this one, make a slip stitch and chain 5. Now I'm going to work inside each of these chain stitches I just made, and I'm going to use only the upper loops of these stitches. I'm going to make single crochet into the second chain, half double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next one, and a treble into the last. Now I want to attach this triangle onto the circle, so I skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, turn my work and insert my hook into the next bar loop. So I skip the next bar loops and make a slip stitch into the third. And this is how I attach the first triangle onto the circle. Let me show it to you one more time. Chain 5, single crochet into the second, chain from hook, half double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next, and treble into the last. And once again I want to attach it into the third bar loop. So 1, 2, and 3. Insert my hook and slip stitch. And I'm going to repeat these steps I just showed you till I have 5 triangles around my first round. So let me do it, and I'll meet you back here when I want to show you how to close this round. So now I'm at the point where I have 5 triangles around the circle and I want to close the round. So I want to make a slip stitch at the back of the work in the base of the first triangle. So I hope you see this point, but it's really at the back point of the first triangle. So I insert my hook and make a slip stitch to this point where I just showed you. I will cut the yarn. I always love to leave a little bit of yarn, so it will make my life easier whenever I come to weave in my ends. Now I pull the loop all the way up, thread a tapestry needle, and weaving in the tail, but I want to weave in the tail so I create a nice finish to this round. So I want to take my tail a little bit into the direction of the center of the work, so it creates a nice finish. And I don't want to pull it too tight because I don't want to hurt this perfect star shape. And you see, with these bar loops we have this circle framed around the first round, which I really love. So I will continue hiding the yarn tail around this center of the work, and then when I finish to secure my yarn, I'll cut the extra yarn, and I'll do the same with this yarn. Let me do it and I'll be back to show you how we continue from this point. And now I have this perfect star shape with no yarn ends, and I'm going to be making my next round, which is this circle. I'm going to create a circle around my star, and for this round I'm going to use the coral color. I want to attach my new yarn into, one of the tips from my previous round. I'm going to insert my hook into the highest point of the triangle, only to the back loop, attach the new yarn, bring it in front, of the work and chain 1. This chain 1 counts as my first single crochet, and now I want to create the stitches around my star. So whenever I go downwards, so from the tip down, I will use both loops of each stitch, and whenever I go upwards towards the next tip, I will use only the back loop of each stitch. So the pattern tells me to half double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next, and an extended double crochet into the next stitch. And let me show you how I do this special stitch. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, go back, yarn over, go through 1 loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and this is an extended double crochet. And now I want to create 2 trebles together into the next 2 stitches, while I want to skip the stitch in the middle between 2 triangles. So this stitch, I will skip this stitch. So let's make it together. Yarn over twice, insert your hook under both loops of the next stitch and go back, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2 loops. Now again, yarn over twice, skip this stitch in the middle, insert your hook into the first stitch on the way up, but only to 1 loop, yarn over, go back, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over, go through 3 loops, sorry. And this is a 2 treble connected together. We made 1 stitch out of 2, and we skipped this stitch in the middle between 2 triangles. Now I want to make an extended double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next, half double into the next, and a single crochet on top of the next tip. And I'm going to repeat these stitches all the way around till I finish my round, and I'll meet you back here when I want to join to close the round. So now I'm at the point where I finish crocheting around my starfish, and I just made the last half double crochet, and I want to close this round by creating an invisible join. I will cut the yarn, leaving a nice tail about this length, pull the stitch all the way up, thread a tapestry needle onto the yarn tail. And the reason I like to close this round with an invisible join is because I want to create a seamless join to this round and to make it easier to insert my hook in each and every stitch on the next round. I'm going to create a new stitch, and I don't want to hurt the stitch count. So I'm going to skip the first chain which made at the beginning of this round, which count as the first single crochet, and I'm going to insert my tapestry needle under both loops of the next stitch, and then I'm going to insert my needle into the middle of the last stitch I made and under the bar loop behind it. And here is the new stitch I created, and it creates such a nice and seamless edge. And now, using this tapestry needle, I am going to weave in the yarn end, and I like to go underneath the stitches, but I want to split the yarn a little bit, not under all the stitches, but from time to time I want to split the yarn. That's the way I like to weave in ends, and I know many of you ask me to show how I weave in ends. I'm going a little bit in one direction, and then I like to go back a little bit, and usually I use a tapestry needle with pointy edge, so it's easier for me to split the yarn a little bit and to secure my yarn ends. And I will leave a link down below to the tapestry needles that I like to use. So this is how I weave in the ends. This end I work over it so I can just cut it. And here is the circle around my starfish. In the next round we will create a square. And for the next round I'm going to be using this citron color. I want to attach the yarn on top of any of the extended double crochet from the previous round. Let me show you how we can see where is the extended double crochet. So we can see that in the lowest point we have the two trebles together, which create one stitch. This is the true treble and this is the stitch on top of it. So the stitch, just one stitch before this stitch is the top of the extended double crochet. So this is a two treble together, and this is the extended double crochet, and this is the top of this stitch. So I insert my hook to this stitch, attach the new yarn, and chain 6 to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these 6 chain stitches counts as our first treble and 2 chain stitches for the space. We will create now the first corner. Now I want to make another treble stitch into the same stitch. This is the first corner, and now I want to create an extended double crochet onto the next stitch, and I work on top of the yarn tail and a double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next, and now I want to make a single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to mirror these stitches. So half double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next, extend the double crochet to the next stitch, and a corner into the next stitch, which is a treble crochet, a treble double crochet, 2 chain stitches for the corner, and a treble double crochet into the same stitch, and it creates our corner. And I will repeat these stitches all the way around, and I'll meet you back when we are going to join and to close this round. So here I am at a point where I finish my square and I want to close this round, and I want to be closing this round by making a slip stitch into the 4th chain of my initial chain 6. So I start to count from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want to insert my hook into the middle of this chain, and now I want to cut the yarn, pull the stitch all the way up, and this is it. This is our starfish square. On my starfish original blanket, I added 2 more framing rounds using the solid square, and I made them using the shell gray color, and I have a tutorial for a solid square which I will link down below in the description box for you, but let me show you how we do these 2 solid square rounds around our starfish square. I will use the shell gray color, and I'm going to attach the yarn into any of the corner chain spaces under the chain. So I'm going to insert my hook into the chain space, grab the yarn in front, and I'm going to chain 5. And these 5 chain stitches counts as the first double crochet and 2 chain stitches for the corner space. And I'm going to make 2 more this double crochet into the same chain space. And I want to take these corner stitches a little bit backwards to reveal the next stitch, and I want to crochet a double crochet into each of the next 11 stitches. So, and you can work over the yarn tail in order to not to weave it in later with a tapestry needle. And now I made 11 double crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I want to make 2 double crochet, 2 chain stitches and 2 double crochet into the corner space like I make in my solid square. And I will repeat these steps till I finish my first framing round, and I'll meet you back here when I'm ready to join and to close the round. And now I'm at the point where I want to complete my first corner. So I want to add 1 more double crochet into the first corner space. And now I want to slip stitch into the 3rd chain from my initial chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, and it leaves me with 2 stitches for the corner space. And this is the first round of the framing, which leaves us with 15 double crochet in each side of the square and 4 chain 2 corner spaces. In order to start my last round, I want to slip stitch into the corner space next to me. And I'm going to be starting this round by chain 3 because I'm going to finish this round a little bit different. So I'm going to do all the stitches that are required for the corner space, which is 2 double crochet, 3 chain stitches and 2 double crochet. And I love to end with the 3 chain stitches in the corner because it helps me while joining the squares. So I'm going to be making 1 more double crochet into this corner space, 3 chain stitches and 2 double crochet. And this is the first corner completed. Now I'm going to be making a double crochet in each of the next 15 stitches, and I will push the corner stitches a little bit backwards and make sure that I insert my hook into the first stitch, not missing it. And now I've reached the next corner space and I want to make 2 double crochet, chain, 2 double crochet, 3 chain stitches and 2 double crochet into the corner space. And then once again I will make a double crochet in each of the next 15 stitches, and I will repeat these steps around, and I'll meet you to show you how I closed my final framing round. And here we are at the point where we finished crocheting all the double crochet stitches around. Let me cut the yarn, leaving a little bit of a yarn tail about this length, taking the stitch all the way up, and I love to close my last framing round once again with an invisible join. And the reason I love to do it is because it gives me a seamless, beautiful line at the edge of each and every one of my squares, which looks really beautiful while joining and makes it very easy to join because each and every stitch is beautifully made, and I don't like the way the slip stitch looks at the end of the round. So I threaded a tapestry needle on the yarn tail, and now I want to create an extra stitch for this invisible join, and that's why once again I want to skip one stitch, and I'm skipping the third chain stitch from my initial chain 3, insert my tapestry needle into the next stitch, pull the yarn all the way through, then go back to the last stitch made, insert my tapestry needle in the middle of the stitch and under the bar loop behind it, and pull the yarn all the way, and I just created this invisible join, which makes such a beautiful seamless edge. And using this tapestry needle, I will take this opportunity to show you how I weave in the yarn ends at the end of the work. And I know you love to see this step. I'm going under the stitches, splitting the yarn a little bit, and then I go back in the other direction, and then I cut the yarn. I will do the same with all the yarn ends left in my work, so bear with me if you like to see weaving in ends, which is the last part of our square making. And as much as the colorful work is beautiful and addictive and very joyful, it leaves us with a few yarn ends to weave in at the end of the work. So yeah, all my yarn ends are beautifully secured and hidden behind the stitches. They don't show at the front of the work. And this is my StarFish. So I hope you enjoyed making the StarFish square with me and framing it with me, and now the StarFish squares are ready to be joined. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and if you enjoyed, please give this video the thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks, and I'll see you on my next one.